Today, we're diving deep into one of the most heart-wrenching and epic moments of the Siege of Terra. A moment that truly embodies the tragedy of the Horus Heresy, the clash between Sanguinius and Angron at the Eternity Gate. This isn't just a battle. It's a collision of brothers, a reflection of what could have been, and a desperate stand against the encroaching darkness. Now, before we plunge into the chaos, let's set the stage. Who was Sanguinius? The Angel. Sanguinius, Primarch of the Blood Angels, was revered not just as a warrior, but as a beacon of hope. He was, in many ways, the embodiment of the Emperor's ideal. He was beautiful, noble, and immensely powerful. His abilities were legendary. He possessed superhuman strength, speed, and reflexes, even by Primarch standards. He could fly with his magnificent wings, and his psychic abilities, though subtle, were potent. He was a master swordsman, wielding the blade in Carmen, a weapon of exquisite craftsmanship and deadly precision. His allegiances were clear. He was loyal to the Emperor, to the Imperium of Man. He was a leader of the loyalist factions, standing firm against the traitorous forces of Horus. But like all Primarchs, he had his weaknesses. He was burdened by a precognitive vision of his own demise, a constant shadow hanging over him. He also carried a deep, hidden sorrow, a knowledge of the darkness within his blood angels, a flaw he desperately tried to control. Then there was Angron. Angron, the Primarch of the World Eaters, a stark contrast to Sanguinius. Angron was a creature of pure rage, a berserker driven by the butcher's nails implanted in his brain, a cruel technology that amplified his aggression while robbing him of his humanity. His abilities were brutal. He possessed immense strength, capable of tearing apart tanks with his bare hands. He was relentless, a force of destruction that seemed unstoppable. He wielded Gorefather and Gorechild, twin chain axes that epitomized his savage nature. His allegiances. He was a devoted follower of Horus, a tool of the War Master's wrath. He led the traitorous World Eaters, a legion of bloodthirsty warriors who reveled in carnage. His weaknesses were profound. The butcher's nails had stripped him of his empathy, his reason, leaving him a slave to his rage. He was easily manipulated, driven by a primal need for violence. And so, these two brothers, once part of the Emperor's grand design, found themselves on opposite sides of the Eternity Gate. Imagine the scene, the skies of Terra choked with smoke and fire, the air thick with the stench of death. The Eternity Gate, the last bastion between the traitor legions and the Imperial Palace, was under relentless assault. Angron, now ascended to demonhood, a hulking figure of pure fury, led the charge. Sanguinius, the Angel, stood as the last line of defense. The defenders were battered, exhausted, but they held firm, inspired by their Primarch's unwavering resolve. And then, the clash. Angron, a whirlwind of chain axe fury, met Sanguinius, a graceful warrior of light. The battle was a spectacle of raw power versus elegant skill. Angron's blows were brutal, each strike capable of shattering stone and steel. Sanguinius, however, moved with an almost ethereal grace, deflecting and parrying, his counterattacks swift and precise. It wasn't just a physical battle, though. It was a clash of ideals, a confrontation between hope and despair. Sanguinius fought to protect the Imperium, to preserve the Emperor's dream. Angron fought to destroy, driven by a rage that consumed him entirely. I can only imagine the weight on Sanguinius's heart. He was fighting his brother, a brother he once loved, now twisted and corrupted by the dark powers. He knew Angron was beyond redemption, a fact that must have caused him immense pain. The battle raged on, a dance of death amidst the ruins of Terra. Sanguinius, despite his skill, was gradually being overwhelmed by Angron's sheer ferocity. He was wounded, his armor battered, but he refused to yield. He knew that if the Eternity Gate fell, all hope would be lost. Then, at the critical moment, Sanguinius found a reserve of strength, a surge of righteous fury. He realized that to truly protect the gate, he had to break Angron's assault. With a speed that defied even Angron's enhanced senses, Sanguinius unleashed a series of blindingly fast strikes with the blade in Carmine. He focused his attacks not on raw power, but on precision, on finding the weaknesses in Angron's corrupted form. He struck at the points where the butcher's nails intersected with Angron's flesh, where the warp energies pulsed most violently. He severed the unnatural bonds that tethered Angron to his demonhood, disrupting the warp energies that fueled his rage. For a fleeting moment, Angron's eyes cleared, a flicker of the man he once was returning. But it was too late. The damage was done. Angron, his demonhood disrupted and his rage momentarily quelled, was forced back. He roared in frustration, a sound of pure agony, as the warp energies that sustained him flickered and waned. Sanguinius, though wounded and exhausted, had broken the momentum of the assault. Angron, now weakened and disoriented, was forced to retreat, the warp energies pulling him back into the immaterium. The assault on the Eternity Gate faltered, the traitor legions thrown into disarray by the sudden withdrawal of their demon Primarch. Sanguinius, despite his wounds, stood victorious, a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. He had held the line. He had protected the Eternity Gate. But his victory was bittersweet, a Pyrrhic triumph against a brother lost to the darkness. After Angron's defeat, the Loyalist forces rallied, inspired by Sanguinius's bravery. They pushed back the traitor legions, securing the Eternity Gate for a time. But the siege of Terra was far from over. The war raged on, and Sanguinius knew that his final confrontation with fate was still to come. The echoes of this battle still resonate, even in the 41st millennium. It's a reminder of the sacrifices made, the battles fought, the hope that endures even in the darkest of times. It's a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the enduring legacy of the angel, Sanguinius. This story, for me, isn't just about war. It's about the choices we make, the battles we fight, and the legacies we leave behind. It's about finding strength in the face of overwhelming odds and holding on to hope, even when all seems lost. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of the Siege of Terra. Until next time, remember to find your own strength and never give up on hope.